screen?
No.
Good evening, Dennis Gebhart here. Glad to have you. Thank you for joining me on this Monday evening. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dennis Gebhart. I have a company called Guru Villages. We are a professional empowerment company for salon professionals. Our goal is to help salon professionals become more successful by empowering them with strategic, honest, scientific information and giving them strategies, behaviors, and techniques that will help them be more successful than they already are. I just want to ask you a question this evening. Have you ever had a color that didn't come out the way you expected it to? An unexpected result. You know, I was scrolling around on social media today and I was seeing someone who said that reason most hair colors don't, that you have hair color unexpected results is because of bad hair color. And I really disagree with that. I believe that we have unexpected results because we're not grounded in formulation as an industry. Because I don't know about you, but my formulation skills in beauty school were I would take my bottle to a window, somebody would squirt product in it, I'd screw the lid on and go squirt it on somebody's head. How many of you can relate to that? I'm sure that you can. And so learning to formulate was really a challenge, and really that skill wasn't developed for me until I got out of beauty school and I was in the salon working and found my mentor who helped me understand how to formulate. And so I've tried to carry his philosophies and his processes forward. It has turned the lights on for me as a professional and helped me really master the world of hair color, and I feel very, very indebted to him. I always will be for the rest of my life. But sometimes when I share that information with people, they kind of go, whoa, whoa, that's a little strange. And so they said, someone wrote to me today, so why would you go on and just kind of share with us how you formulate a hair color process? So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to give you a little bit of insight or a look into what I do in my programs when I'm teaching formulation. Now, if some of this stuff sounds interesting and you want to share it, please share it with your friends. I appreciate all the shares. I can't see who you are tonight because Sylvia is filming me so that I can write on the flip chart and you can actually read it. I don't have to learn to write backwards. But if you find it valuable, share it with your friends because it really has helped me. So I'm going to share this with you this evening. I'm only going to leave it up for about 12 hours. I will be taking it down tomorrow morning. Here's why I'm going to do that. Because I'm only going to give you a piece because there's not enough time to give you everything. If you want everything, I encourage you to come and spend some time with me. It will change the way that you formulate hair color. And as my wife says, my brain is an interesting place to visit, but you don't want to spend a lot of time there. So my goal tonight is to give you a couple of little insights into the way I formulate. So first of all, let me introduce you to the beam. When I teach my students to formulate hair color, I do not teach them off the color wheel. The color wheel is great. It's important that we understand how it works. Most people do not understand how it works. And so I found that by teaching them this method in the beginning, so when you came to work for me, I would give you a white eraser mark-off board, and I would have you do what we call map out your color formula before you ever mix an ounce or a drop or a gram of color in the color bowl. So I took the color wheel and I put it off the beam. And so here's the way that I do this. Okay, I'm going to give you this scenario right now. And I know you may have questions, and I'll try and go back and read your questions in the comment boxes and try to give you some answers. But I really just wanted to kind of give you an insight into maybe a different approach to looking how we formulate. Because you know, we formulate one of three ways I've found today in salons. One, we formulate by recipe. That means it's my favorite red, my favorite brown, my favorite blonde. How many of you know people that formulate that way? Or maybe you do. Experts say we only use 6 shades of hair color. That's really what our repertoire is made up of. So we formulate by recipe. Secondly, we formulate by what I call the hair color quarterback. If you're in a salon where you work with more than one person, sometimes that's a person, if they have a little bit higher expertise in color, you walk over to them, you go, look, walk by my chair, don't let her know you're looking, I'll wait here, you tell me what to mix. How many of you have seen that happen, or you've experienced it? You might even be that quarterback. Or number 3, we put everything we could imagine could go wrong into the bowl. 1 ounce, half an ounce, 1 ribbon inch, 1 dot, 1 splash, 1 dollop. We formulate like we cook. And the reason we do that many times is out of not being sure, not being confident. So with this system, it helps establish one's confidence. And that's what I feel is important when we're coloring hair and when we're formulating color, is to have confidence in what you're formulating. Should I use this one? Should I use that one? And so hopefully this will help you today. So here's the scenario. My client is a level 5, pardon my back, light brown head of hair. She wants to be a level 7 copper blonde. Simple formulation. We've all done this in the salon. And normally what most of us would do is we would take our 7 level copper, we would apply it with 20 volume to this level 5 head of hair, and we'd come up with a very nice copper shade. So this is a scenario. So I'm going to map it out on the beam. Now let me tell you what the beam is. The beam tells me whether my color is reflective or light absorption, or whether or not I have too much background, which can make my color very flat, very muddy, very drab. Have any of you ever formulated a color expecting reflect and ended up very flat and very drab? You actually buried the reflect because of all the color combinations that we mix together. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put the entire color formulation on the beam. Now when I say entire color formulation, I mean the formulation will include not only what's in the tube, but also what the hair is contributing. Remember, all hair color results are a combination or a marriage of contributions from the hair along with the contribution from the color. So the first thing we want to do is we want to place everything on the beam. All the reflective colors that reflect light, red and orange, red and yellow will go on this side. All the colors that absorb light, blue, will go on this side. And all the brown in my formula, which most hair colors have brown in their background, will go in the middle. So long as I have an adequate amount of brown, that beam can fluctuate back and forth. If I get too much brown in my formula, that triangle gets fat, the beam can't fluctuate, and I bury any tone or any reflect that I've been looking for. So with that said, let's start with our formula. I take my 7 level copper. I'm going to place it, well, I'm going to start with the hair. Level 5, lighten to level 7. It's going to lift you to a level 7. The undertone at level 7 is orange, so that's 1 part red, 1 part yellow. I'm breaking things down in their basic componentry. My mentor taught me to take things apart first and then put them together. So we're using basic componentry. We know the color orange is made up of 1 part red, 1 part yellow, so I'm putting it on the map, okay? Next is the 7 level copper. We know the 7 level copper is going to have background, so I'm going to identify that with the letters BK. Anytime you see BK, that means we have background, brown in the background. Next, we're also going to identify the tone, because this is 7 level copper. So yes, it has background in it, but it also has copper. So copper, we know, is 2 parts of red and 1 part of yellow. So now, the entire color formula is setting right here on my beam. All that we have to do now is translate it into English. Here's how we do it. It is 6 steps. If you have a pen and paper, you may want to write this down. Step number 1, identify all background. Right here is background, 1 component, and so that means my result will have brown in it. Okay. Next, I look for any additional brown. None there. I look for gray. That's step number 3. None there. Step number 4, I look for all tertiary colors. And I have 1 set of tertiary colors right here. 2 parts red, 1 part yellow, otherwise known as copper. Step number 5, I look for all secondary colors. And you can see I have a secondary color here, 1 part red, 1 part yellow, otherwise known as orange. So this tells me that my finished result, 1, will be heavy and reflect. It will be a brown at level 7, so we call that a blonde. A level 7 blonde with copper orange. Highly reflective, exactly the color that I wanted. So that's pretty simple, isn't it? But now, what happens when we get a curveball? This level 5, we're going to change it now. It's going to have 30% gray. So I'm adding 30% gray to it. If I add 30% gray to it, most of us are taught if there's gray hair, I add a natural. So it would not just be 7C, it would be a 7-level copper plus a 7-level natural would be my formulation. So let's see how that looks different than what we've done here. Level 5 going to level 7, 30% of the hair is going to be orange. But 70% of the hair is going to be gray. And here's something you may have never been taught. When I am lightening and covering gray at the same time, let me say that one more time. When I'm lightening and covering gray at the same time, I must, if I'm not lightening more than 2 levels, I must consider gray as part of the formula. If I don't do that, the gray will come out looking hollow, it will look faded. Has it ever happened to you? And then you go, oh, well, we'll call them natural highlights. So I have to add gray into my formula, which is 1 part blue, 1 part red, and 1 part yellow. So that is the hair. Can you see the hair has already changed what it's contributing? It's now contributing a different color. We still want the same result, but the hair is contributing in different tones now. Now let's add in our 7-level copper. Our 7-level copper is going to have background. That's BK. And it's going to have copper, which is 2 parts of red, 1 part of yellow. Now we got to add in our 7-level natural. And we're just going to say, for this sake of this session, that it just has brown. But we know virtually all manufacturers, their natural series has brown plus blue-violet, or brown plus violet, or brown plus green, some additional tone in there. So we're just going to call it brown. So now, this is the new formula. And let's see what the new formula looks like. First, I look for all background. So I've got 2 components of background. So that means instead of just having brown, I'm now going to have a double dose. That's okay, we're trying to cover gray hair. Then I look to see, is there any additional brown in the componentry? There is, watch. 1 part blue, 2 parts red, 3 parts yellow. I didn't add more brown, I created a browning out effect because of the combination of the colors together, so I have to add more brown. Holy smokes, now that triangle's getting fat, and I'm getting a very flat, drab looking color. Now I look for any gray, no gray. Then I look for any tertiary colors, none. Any secondary colors, none. Any primary colors, yes, there are. And that is red and red. So, I got coverage of my gray, but I came out with a completely different color. And the reason was because I had to consider the gray in my formula. Now you say, all right, well, is there a better formula? There is, and I'm going to do that for you right now. Instead of using my 7-level copper and my 7-level natural, I'm going to mix my 7-level copper with a 7-level gold. I want you to watch what happens. Level 5 hair, contributing an undertone, still going to be 30% orange. It's still going to be 70% gray, 1 part blue, 1 part red, 1 part yellow. So the hair is still the same. But now my 7-level copper, it has background in it, plus it has copper, which is 2 parts of red, 1 part of yellow. My 7-level gold has background in it, plus gold, which is 2 parts of yellow, 1 part of red. This is the new result. Let's see what happens. First of all, step number 1, identify all background. BK, BK, so that is brown plus brown. Okay, any additional brown? Absolutely. 1 part blue, 2 parts red, 3 parts yellow. We still have the browning out effect. Brown. Any gray? No. Any tertiary colors? Yes, there is. I have 2 parts of red and 1 part of yellow, which means that I will now have copper, and then I also have secondary colors, red and yellow, which is orange, and I end up with gray coverage without a natural series with the same reflect here that I had here. All because I was able to map it out. Color mapping, an amazing way to formulate hair color. It will change the way you color hair once you master this system. If your brain is smoked right now because you're trying to hang with me, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to share a little bit with you. If you find this interesting and you want more information, reach out to us. We have a website called www.guruvillages.com. We also have an email address, guruhairtribe@gmail.com. Please send us a message or a note. We do live education. We also do online webinars. We have a live and online color correction program coming up this Sunday, the 12th of February. You can still find a couple of spaces in there. The 19th of February, we do an exclusive online class with one of our fellow gurus, Martin Rodriguez, on balayage. We have ongoing programs continuing all along. And so our goal at Guru Villages is to help you master your craft, because we truly believe it doesn't matter about the product. What matters about your mastery in this industry. So, as I always say, thank you so much for spending your time with me this wonderful Monday night. I'll be back tomorrow night, Tuesday night, answering some questions in addition to the ones I'll try to answer on this. And as I say always, from my heart to yours, Captain Color, out.